it's really fucked up. Like I said, Rumble is pushing a rock, not up a hill, not up a mountain, fucking Mount Everest in their attempt to be just an alternative. Because we have this story courtesy of Lumpy Potato over on Rumble. Now, we are actually getting ready to use OBS for our show. OBS, for those who don't know, is a streaming software that allows you, most streamers use OBS in some way, shape, or form. Arch, do you use OBS?
Streamlabs, so not quite the same thing, but much the same like background.
There is
I use OBS.
Yeah, there is a Streamlabs OBS where they have a product that works together. There's an OBS and a Streamlabs OBS. But what you need to know about OBS as a background is that it's like an open source tool that allows you to more or less have your own production studio in a single software, right? It's really a nice product that's free for everybody. Here is the issue. Lumpy Potato over on X pointed this out, says, "We demand answers, OBS. In your support forums, a user requested the addition of Rumble Video to the list of platforms for connection, and as most platforms are currently included, meaning that you could, stream on YouTube, you can stream on X, you can stream on OnlyFans, you can stream on all these platforms." But the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, Joel Bethkel, responded with, "Rumble has not provided anything, and even if they did, they host hateful and racist content, and we want nothing to do with their platform here." And then they deleted the post right here. So you can see the original post here, and you can see when you scroll down, courtesy of Lumpy, see it's right there, and then they just straight up deleted it. Now, what they've done here by essentially saying these things and Lumpy signal boosting this is they have opened up the floodgates. Because Lunduke Journal, who was on our show last week, a couple weeks ago, got a hold of this. And he's been doing a little bit of digging. Says, OBS Studios, the open source video streaming software, refuses to add Rumble to the list of default streaming options because, as the OBS COO, Joel Bethke put it, they host hateful, racist comment, blah, 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 blah. Now, first and foremost, Arch, we'll get to the rest of this in a second. Thoughts on the statement and thoughts on if Rumble hosts hateful, racist content?
I don't think a single platform doesn't host something that can't be considered racist or hateful comments by someone. And again, they're already... you want to talk about hateful content? People that think things are genuinely objectionable. Bonnie Blue going through 100 guys, all barely legal in a weekend, might qualify.
Right.
But no objections there. So again, this is obviously just them objecting to Rumble not adopting their politics more so than any actual moral objection, in my opinion.
Well, when you go on Rumble and you look at the things that are on Rumble right now, they host obviously Russell Brand. They obviously have a very a strong political side of things, which tells you exactly where OBS lies in all this. You can see we're actually the second highest viewed gaming thing on Rumble, which is
gaming thing.
Pretty cool. I don't know. We're in the gaming category, so only behind Dr. Disrespect, but I know the folks at Rumble do like us here. They're big on crypto here. And so there's all this live content. By the way, speaking of AI generated, let's go with this right here. Total AI. There's your sports. Here's all your hateful content right here. This is it. Like, I don't quite get it, but that's the perception here from them. Now, Lunduke has gone in, says the OBS project is also actively deleting messages requesting Rumble support. Says it's worth noting OBS provides out-of-the-box support for live streaming to porn sites OnlyFans. And he has any comment on this OBS? Why does OBS proudly promote pornography and the exploitation of women, but refuses to support program which supports free speech, or a platform that does that? So, and he obviously gave a heads up to Lumpy Potato for the signal boost right here. But he continued, as Lunduke does, doing a little bit of digging on the funding of OBS. says, looking at the OBS project organization and funding, and it is truly bizarre. No nonprofit or corporation whatsoever. 6 diamond sponsors at $50,000 each per year. 3 premier sponsors at an undisclosed, even higher amount. An open collective account with a current balance of over $300,000. Huge amounts of money. And yet no legal organization, no available annual reports, no tax records. Any comments on this? Do I have any of this wrong? How is this money spent? And how are these donations reported here? If you don't have a company like NVIDIA, Intel, Qualcomm, all these companies here are giving them $50,000 annually here, right? And you can see they can't even find any access to this stuff.
That's wild.
YouTube giving them tons of money. Twitch giving them tons of money. Logitech right here. And somebody put it this way, says, why do you care? They make good software and make it available for people to use for free, right? And the answer is money laundering right in your face, right here. Arch, love to hear your thoughts on this.
Potentially. It's also just because they simply directly benefit from this. They want money. They want people to stream. They want to make it easy. And also, of course, this is potentially data from the streamers that they can use in various malicious ways if they should so choose. As one of the little interesting things that was probably brewing before everything started to take a turn in politics was that you may remember YouTube was getting a lot more censorious for a while, particularly like you can't criticize the last election and so on, right?
COVID.
Then they started cutting down on a lot of that after the Trump-Luffagus won his second term again. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these platforms probably try to gain access to the tools people use to stream so that they can potentially, 1, gather the data on when they stream and what they stream, and 2, even potentially canceling them at the source, because what they used to do was just delete your Google account, and that sucked, of course, but you could still get around that to the point where they tried profile banning people. My friend Sargon, for example, was banned for just being Sargon and demonetized for years until they recently reversed that policy as well. So pure speculation, but it's interesting.
Well, these companies in big tech, and I've heard this from many people actually, like Rumble is regarded as a black sheep in the industry. There are people who work at Rumble who have been blacklisted from the tech industry. Big tech still very much holds a very big bias, and they are not happy with the way society goes. I know for a fact that if you work at Rumble, you are unemployable at any other company, which is why people talk about Rumble and their platform, like why Rumble is a fine platform, right? It's like a decade behind YouTube. And it's never going to catch up because they can't hire people to work for their platform. Because if they do, they'll never have another job. And if you're working in tech and you're an up and coming programmer or developer or whatever, like that's a very daunting proposition. Like you will work here and that's it. And unless you go out and start your own thing, it's really fucked up. Like I said, Rumble is pushing a rock, not up a hill, not up a mountain, fucking Mount Everest in their attempt to be just an alternative. Because even if they have the resources monetarily, they don't have the resources from a staff perspective. So it's a mess, man. And it's only confounded by things like OBS and these companies here doing this stuff. It's crazy to see this in real time as it's happening. So, fuck, man. Obey YouTube. Watch this video. It's suggested for you.